Okay, this video is for OHPI on the forum to help you diagnose the problem with your battery pack. So here I've got a pack on the bench. I've taken the orange end boards off. You need to do the same. And I've just got a voltmeter, and it's just on the 20 volt range, so we get at least 2 decimal points of accuracy. Well, so what I want you to do first of all, OHPI, is I want you to measure the voltage of each individual stick. So you do that by putting the one end of the voltmeter on this end and then the other end at the back of the stick. Okay, so measure each voltage of every the voltage of every stick, write it down, and note the position of the stick in the case. So do that list first of all. So you should have 20 readings and get them accurate to at least 2 decimal places on your meter if you've got that facility. So voltage of every stick. So measure it both ways around. So measure it with the positive connection on the switchboard end, and then measure it with the positive connection on the back end and the negative here, so that you get a voltage, so that we can double check the voltages basically. So measure the voltages first. Then what we're going to do is we're going to measure the voltage potential between this and the PTC strip connector, which is the little thing at the bottom here. As you can see, I'm touching it with the red connector. So what you want you to do is basically just take your voltmeter, put it on these two, and see if there's any voltage on your voltmeter. There shouldn't be any voltage between these 2 points. Now check it at the other end as well, between the 2 connections that I'm showing you there, and again do that on every stick to make sure that there's no voltage. If you want to, you could also check the resistance of each of these strips by putting the connector probes on each end of the strip and setting your meter to the resistance range, the lowest resistance range you've got, probably 200 ohms or something like that, and again noting down any readings that you get. But certainly in this first test which I'm showing you, which is the voltage potential between the cell itself and the temperature sensing strip, there should be no voltage. If you have any voltage there, it means there's a leak between the strip and the cell mechanism itself, or the cell itself. So do that with every single one, again noting the position and noting every voltage, or hopefully they'll all be naught, but in your case it sounds like we're going to find one or more which has got some leakage, in which case you're then going to need to remove that stick. You have to be aware of the ones with the temperature sensor wires on, so be careful with those. Don't pull those out too far without removing the temperature sensor from the stick. So as an example, what I'll do is I'll just click off the plastic clips here. I'll pull out this stick. It's the bottom stick here with the green wire. And you see the stick comes out and it's got a temperature sensor here. So what you need to do is you basically just need to use a Stanley knife and just slip very gently down alongside this wire, and then this temperature sensor will pull out, and then you can remove the stick. Easier anyway. Anyway, hopefully it won't be one of your sticks with the temperature sensor on which has got the problem. But anyway, you're going to need to do that test that I've just explained. So do that, report back, and then we'll see where we can go from there. If it's just a mildly leaking stick, we might get away with it, but I would think you're probably going to have to replace one or more by the sound of it. Looking at the pictures you've posted, which is pretty difficult, it looks like your BCM has not suffered any damage, and that generally only occurs when there's a leakage at both ends of the pack, so that the BCM sees a huge potential. It looks like probably you've only got a leakage on 1 stick or 2 sticks close together at the bottom end of the pack. So go from there, do the measurements. So measure each stick voltage first of all, front to back. Note the positions on a chart. Measure them to 2 decimal places accuracy. Double check it by reversing the connections. Then measure the voltage between the strip and the cell itself, and again double check that by doing it at the other end as well. Note down all the voltages, and then we'll have some concrete data to go on, and we can advise you further.